Since his arrival in December 2019, Mikel Arteta has been steadily rebuilding Arsenal Football Club into the giant that they once were, initially recording an 8th place finish and an FA Cup before placing 5th in back-to-back seasons. Entering the 22-23 season with top 4 in their sights, Arteta's men exceeded expectations, leading the league until April, before eventually faltering and succumbing to a 2nd place finish behind Manchester City. Over the span of 4 years, the Spaniard has stripped an ageing side and replaced it with a core of young, hungry players determined to win major silverware. Defender Ben White has been playing as one of the best right-backs in the league for the last 12 months. Former League One Young Player of the Season William Saliba has formed a formidable partnership with Gabriel at the back, and dynamic winger Gabriel Martinelli has been a stalwart off the left and eclipsed 15 goals for the first time last year. But amongst these talents, there's one who shines brighter than the rest: starboy Bukayo Saka. A product of the Hale end, Saka has arisen from a squad player used as a full-back or wide midfielder in 2019, but now 4 years on, it's hard to imagine another name manning the right flank for the Gunners, with the Ealing native spearheading the attack over the past 2 years, contributing 20 plus goal contributions in each season. Even before this, Saka's rise caught the eye of England manager Gareth Southgate, who brought him to the Euros in 2021. Although that tournament would eventually end in misery for the then 19-year-old, missing the decisive penalty against Italy in the final, Southgate has continued to trust Saka, who has since amassed 30 England caps, including 4 appearances at the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. Fast forward to late 2023, and Saka has started the season in hot form again, with 4 goals and 2 assists in his first 7 games. However, in the lead up to a game with Bournemouth, rumours emerged of a potential thigh injury. Saka proceeded to score in a 4-0 win over the Cherries, but celebrations were short-lived. Just 3 days later, he suited up for a Champions League game against Lens, but pulled up with a rumoured thigh injury just 34 minutes into the game, which ruled him out of the following fixture, Manchester City at the Emirates. Playing Saka in a game that many would consider easier on paper, with one of the biggest games of the season on the horizon, could be seen as mismanagement on Arteta's part. So the question stands, is Bukayo Saka overworked? Some might say that he is. Saka played in 58 competitive matches last season between the league, domestic cups, European and international competition. This has become a reoccurring theme for him, as up until the game against Manchester City, he played 87 consecutive games in the league and has now amassed over 3,500 competitive minutes for the 2nd consecutive season. This seems like a large amount of games over a short period of time. Between the club competitions, there has been 2 major international tournaments that Saka has been involved in, with England going deep in both the European Championships and the World Cup. Not to mention the fatigue from travelling, but many of the top players have to deal with this issue. Manchester United's Bruno Fernandes played over 5,300 minutes last season in all competitions. Mohamed Salah has posted 4,000 minutes consecutively since his arrival to Liverpool in 2017, and even amongst the crapshoot that is Pep Guardiola's team sheet, Rodri has been producing nigh on 4,000 minutes a season for a number of years. A problem that rises here is that the aforementioned players are all in their mid to late 20s, with the youngest one, Rodri, being 5 years older than Saka. If we look at the amount of football played before the age of 20, Mohamed Salah amassed just over 3,000 minutes of professional football, while Bukayo Saka has played over 3 times the amount of minutes. So although it may look as if Saka is playing an equal amount of minutes to most players, he's actually playing a vastly higher amount of minutes relative to his age, which is more than likely unsustainable. The main concern now is how do Arsenal's medical team handle this thigh injury? Taking Chelsea captain Reece James as an example, because of his importance to the Blues, he has consistently been rushed back from injury too early. James has battled reoccurring hamstring and ankle problems for much of his career, This is no surprise as 30% of footballers re-injure their hamstring within 2 weeks of returning, and are 3 times more likely to re-injure their hamstring within the following 12 months. Although we would like to believe that managers plan to make use of their full squad, the volatility of the position means that when their back is against the wall, they tend to stick with the players that they trust the most regardless of their fitness. With a fixture increase set to take place in the upcoming World Cup and Champions League, for players like Bukayo Saka, the key to their success may lie in how often they are not on the pitch rather than on it, a decision that will fall at the foot of the manager. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and leave a suggestion for one that you'd like to see next. Until then, I'll see you in a bit.